Hey guys, you're watching the one and only. My name is AJ. Welcome back to another episode of Let's Build a Mini City. And I'm going to start off with a quick reminder this episode about the texture pack. I've been getting a lot of comments recently saying, where's the texture pack? Where's the download for the texture pack? Is there a download? What texture pack is this? Etc, etc. Now, I have explained it pretty much nearly every episode, but I will explain it again. I'm using someone else's texture pack as a base. I just threw a block away. I'm using Simply Sharp's 32-bit texture pack for 1.10. I know this is on 1.11, but it doesn't matter. But we're using that as a base. And then what I'm doing is I'm changing the texture of each block during episodes in order to make our city buildings. I cannot legally, I'm sure he probably wouldn't, whoever made this, the guy Simply Sharp or whatever, Tyler Z or whatever his name is, I don't think that he would really mind if I released it anyway. I don't know the guy, I've never heard of the guy before, but I can't see him being that upset. But it would be actually illegal for me to release this texture pack as it is now, because although yes, half of the blocks are now done by me and I own the copyright to them in a way, the other half that I haven't changed are his. Weather clear. Things like the grass, the sand, the water, the HUD, the menu, all of these little icons I will need to change in order for me to comfortably put out a download for you guys. That won't be available until this series is done. What's the point of me releasing a texture pack to you guys where there's only like a few buildings? There's only half of the, or like a quarter or whatever of the buildings to make your own city. There's no point me releasing a texture pack for you guys yet. Today though, I want to build the cathedral. And I think, let's just get a block for the moment. We don't want to use wool. I don't mind using clay though. Clay's a great one to use. So let's just grip brown, and I think I'll need two, so we'll just go with brown and green for the moment. Now, the cathedral is going to be tricky to do because there's a lot of different shapes for it. Now, there's only 2 blocks of width here as well. So what we're going to have to do is, you know, on the main cathedral in our city has 2 tall towers on either side, and then the lower one in the middle, it has a little peaked roof on either side like that. Do you know what I mean? If I do it like that. Maybe that sort of makes sense. We can't do that in a 2-block gap. So what we're going to have to do is we're going to reduce it down to a 1-block gap, or 1 block in total. And at the start of it, at the front, it's going to be 2 blocks tall. Then it's going to come back. I think I could probably go back another block. Yeah, like that. And then we have this is the shape. And then we have another block here. Or I'll do them all brown for the moment, like that. And then I think we have sort of some smaller ones, don't we? Does it come off the south wing? I've got a picture. Yeah, it comes off the south wing. I could use a slab, but I don't really want to. Really? Oh yeah, someone said purpur would be a good block. Yeah, look at that. Because purpur actually has a different top texture to the side texture. So we could actually save this for an entire building done. Because we could change the top section separately. It's a good idea, good spot from that, whoever said that. I remember someone said that. Same with pistons. We could technically make pistons into its own building because it's got a sort of its own top texture to it. For this side thing, you know what? We probably will do a slab thing. I think I can, like, use a block. I mean, red sand. No, it's got the stair there. See, anything with stairs always has a variation, which really messes things up. You know, I'll use purpur. Why not? So then that comes out like this. And around there, it's... No, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do the that extra section, which means I could probably end up moving this over by 1 block as well. So we have it like that instead. I think that's much more centered. This way as well. Now, how are we going to texture this though? Because the way I'm going to do it is most of the blocks are going to be the same. Obviously, these 3 blocks would be the same anyway. 1, 2, and 3. And we'll have carpets on top of these. We'll have to retexture some carpets up. We'll use lime carpet for the roof to go on here. 1, 2, 3. I'm going to have to use a different carpet to do the tops. We'll use red of those to have like it'll sort of look like a pink. I might not need to, but I'm going to do it a different color for the moment. So this is going to look like a brown ridge. This is going to look like a little edging around it, and that's about it. This one would be the green one as well. They're going to face all the same way. I can't control everything, unfortunately, about this. Then these two blocks, like if I just made them all windows, that would be the best way to do it. Like if I just made those entirely all windows. I could make like a block for each section, but what's the point? And then this one would have the door on it, but we don't need a door on it. These two could be different. So we have that one and that one and that one and that one. So that's 4 blocks that we need to texture. Brown, dark green, lime carpet or lime wool, and red wool. And that should, it looks a little bit weird, but I'm pretty sure that that'll make us look a little bit like a cathedral. So let's jump into Photoshop. Okay, so our first one is the brown clay. Now I've loaded up my overviewer here of the cathedral. Let's make that a little bit bigger so you guys can see it as well on YouTube's. Shoom. So this is the cathedral, right? Now this is what I was talking about. These bottom blocks are all going to be the same, but then we're going to make the top ones look different. We'll make the windows bigger on them, and that should work well. We've got the brown carpet here that I was talking about. The lime green carpet, and then these two will be red. We're just combining these 2 pillars into one. It's as good as we can really get without using a million different blocks and making the cathedral way too big for the rest of the scale of our building. So let's think about the brown one. What we're going to have to do is I'm going to do, I think, just 2 large windows in it. Let's start off by making this grey. So I'm going to put down, I think that's a pretty good grey. We'll put down a grey carpet on there. I can do that. So this is nice and grey now. We're going to want to have 2 edges and a middle point as well in it. So what we'll do is we'll grab a slightly darker grey here. And I'm going to go down this side and down this side. And we want the middle. Now there's no exact middle point because this is a 32 by 32-bit texture pack, which is obviously an even number. So what we're going to do is we're going to do it like that instead. So each middle section is going to be 2 blocks, maybe 4 blocks wide. For the windows, we're going to go, do I want to go with the brown for the brown stained glass that we have on it? Or do I want to go with like a light blue to make it look more glass? Or do I want to go with a white? I think I'll go with a light blue, like a really light blue for the glass itself. I could go with stained glass windows, but they're all going to be the same. That's what you have to remember. So we're going to leave 3 blocks, or 3 pixels if you like, on either side of this window here. We'll do the same here. I think that's a pretty good height off the ground as well. And we're going to fill this in to start off with, and then we want this to be a little bit of an arched window. I could make this a lot taller actually. I could go up to like here. That would make more sense. Okay, like this. Then we want to make it a little bit of a pointed top, so we're going to do how you would do it in Minecraft, which would be like that. I think that looks pretty good, right? We'll grab some white now, some white pixels to make it look like the glass texture that we have in Minecraft, like this. I think that looks pretty smart. We want a windowsill. The windowsills are still grey. So we'll just grab this grey. We'll make it a little bit darker. Not too much darker, though, to go underneath it. I'll just do one, and then I can copy and paste the other one over. I can delete that brown layer behind it as well. There's no point even having that there. I want a little bit of a beading along the top here. I can go with a lighter block first, and then go with a darker block than what a darker color than what we've already got. I mean, I'm saying block because it to me they are like Minecraft blocks, but they're just pixels instead. Something like that. I want to have a darker, but not quite as dark as that block, to come down either side of our pillars. We always keep them on the right hand side. That's how we've done it all the way through this texture pack already. Is we're keeping the lighter side on the, what would it be, top left side. And then on the bottom right-hand side, we make it darker, okay? That's how we're using the shading for this, and it's going to work really nicely like that. So we've got lighter on that side. We want a little bit of lighter block, so we'll grab that one. Make it a smidge lighter. I'm just going to go like down a few blocks with this. Like that. I think we're looking pretty good. I could probably make that a little bit thicker at the top here. I'm going to come down by another 2 blocks. We're going to grab this shade back again. Cover up those 2 like that. I could go through if I wanted to, actually. Oh, not crop. That one, and that one. Now, in Photoshop, as you guys have spotted and how I've spotted through the series so far, when you're in Photoshop, it might not look as good as it does in the... Oh, it doesn't look as good. It's definite. It doesn't look as good as it does when you get into Minecraft itself, which is really weird. I've always found that really, really strange. But when we stick this into Minecraft, it's going to look absolutely fabulous. I think I want to make this one a little bit lighter to go around one side of the window. There, 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 and there. And then we're going to grab a slightly darker than that colour to come down the other side. This just gives a little bit of an emboss around the window. Let's make that windowsill 1 block wider on each side to cover that up. And I think we'll go a little bit darker, as if there was a little bit of a shadow underneath it as well. I think something like that looks pretty good. What if we got the blue and we made a little bit of a darker shade on the blue as well? Something like that. That, I think, looks pretty nice. I want to have some darker sections around here. So we can do that by grabbing this darker spot and going up here and here. I think I might go on both sides, in fact. I think that just makes that stand out that little bit more. Let's copy this window and paste it over here. And we've got ourselves 1 window or 1 block sorted already. Now we need to move on to the... It was a dark green block, wasn't it? So what we're going to do with this is save it as a PNG. Boom. And I think... I could use the same window above it. I really could. And not do the second block, not do the dark green one, and just use that for all of them? No, we'll make a new one. So, I will copy that, though, because you never know if I might, what colours I'm going to keep and stuff. So by copying and pasting it, I'm actually having access to the greys that I've already used. And I think with this one, what we're going to do now is I'm going to shorten this up at the top, so it's not quite as tall at the top there. I'm going to drop the bottom half down, and I'm going to make these windows smaller. I want to make them thinner and smaller. So let's start off by filling in these gaps again. Now that I've sort of altered where things start and where things finish. There, there, and there. Grab that one. For that one, and that one, that one, and that one. I don't know why I'm doing this, actually, because I'm going to be changing a lot of it. I'll do it anyway. It's going to make my head work a lot better. Put those in there and there. The blue one there and there. Yeah, this was like a bad way to do it. I started off with this with the wrong thought process. What I want to do is I want to shorten these windows down. So instead of them being really tall, I want to get 4 windows in here. So we shall grab this and I shall just drag it down. I think I can go shorter than that. I think now I could get 2 of those windows in. Nearly. I'm so close. Okay. We should go down a little bit further. I'll have to put in some more white. Like that. Now could I get them all in? It's still pretty tight, I know. But I could drop that bottom. Yeah. I could now combine those and drop this window down by 1 block. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. Put this in here. I might want to do some lighter bits around there. Yeah, I'll go back onto the other one in a minute and do that. Let's grab all of this, copy and paste it over there. And we've got ourselves 4 smaller windows instead. Now, I did say I'm going to have to do this on the other one as well. I want to get some lighter around there. I know it's such a subtle little change that like no one's going to notice but me, but it really will make a difference. I think I'll use a darker one as well. That one. Is that the same as that? No, it's not. Good. To come down here and underneath. Like that. Beautiful. Looks really weird in Photoshop, as it always does. That's nothing new. But what I can do is grab that one. Oh, I don't need to grab that one. I can close this now. Open up the brown again. And just do the same on this one. There to there. That one there and there. Grab this colour to come down there and there. Okay, wonderful. There's the two block parts complete. What we need now is the carpet. So we used wool. I'm just typing on the other screen. You guys can't see it. You don't need to worry about it though. We'll do wool, lime wool first, which is going to be the brown ridges. So let's start off with a brown square. There's a pretty easy way that we can do this too. We're going to do this. We're going to change the color to this to a brown. I think we want to keep it with like the dark oak brown. I think that's pretty close. I think that's closer. Like that. And take that one away. And then what we want to do is we want to select half of this. Which is that one. And then we're just going to make this a little bit darker. So we're going to do the hue and saturation, and we're just going to darken it up a little bit, and it makes it look like a little bit of a ridge. I could put a white quartz edging around it, but it's going to be edging on all four sides, and I don't think that would look that good. I could put them on just the two ends. No, because they're going to all face the same way. So that's the trouble. We've got a north, an east, and a west wing, which are all going to have these roofs on. But they're all going to face in the same direction, unless I made two carpets that were the same but rotated. I think I can. I think I can actually do that. I don't think there's going to be too much of a problem in that. Can I put a little bit of a texture on this? Like if I do this and I make a texture on it, that's a little bit harsh, right? I can take the emboss down. And then on the texture, I can texture this down. Just to get some lighter shades. Just to get something a little bit more textured. I think something like that would work really well. I actually really like that. It gives a little bit of shading automatically for us. So, we shall do that. We shall save that. I'm going to copy and paste it. I'm going to get cyan wool, which we haven't changed yet either. I'm going to paste it, but then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to rotate it by 90 degrees. And then we get it facing the other way. It's a waste because we're actually using an entire block and carpet just to get one roof facing the other way. But for the cathedral, it's a pretty important building, so I think it should be worth it. So there's that one done. Then the last one that we need to do is the red one, which is going to be the tops. The tops of our castle-y sections. I don't know what you'd call them. So for this, we're going to want to have a grey base. I think I like this. I think I like this sort of darker grey base to begin with. And what we could do here is I want to have an edging that goes all the way around it with the corners of them being slightly darker. So let's get a much darker to begin with so it really does stand out. And I think if we done a 5 by 5, not big enough. 6 by 6. 7 by 7. 7 by 7 is the number. And then what we do is we get some... these are meant to be like... They're going to look sort of like they're a little bit taller than the rest. So you want to get a darker grey than that to make a little bit of a shadow around here. I might do that though, just so it gives a little bit of a shadow on it. I want to make maybe a little bit of a lighter shade. Nope. Nope. No. I think we'll keep it like that for the moment. What if we went a little bit darker than that and we go around the top with it? No, I don't like that either. I don't like that either. I don't know. Let's leave that for the minute then. And what we'll do is we'll do the wooden parts, the wooden fences down the side. Now, we can do that easy enough. We can get like a woody colour, an oak woody colour, which is about that. And I think for the moment, I'll just go with a straight shot. We want it there. And here. And here. It doesn't matter that I'm going over the edges. And there. We then get a darker version to loop around here. I don't know where that's going to be. It's going to be down this side. I don't know where the bottom is going to be of that one either. And along here. I want some lighter grey. Lighter. Much lighter. To go around here. Again, I don't know exactly where the corners are going to be, so I'm just sort of doing where I know for the moment. Oh no, and that should be darker on these two corners. Darker than that. I'm so glad that you guys are enjoying this series as well, by the way, because it's different. It's not a normal Minecraft series that your mind would go to when you think of something Minecraft. It definitely has something different about it. I really enjoy it, and I'm so glad that so many of you guys are enjoying it as well. It really did surprise me. I didn't think that this series was going to be as well received as it was. So thank you. I do thank you for that. Let's add a little bit more shading around here. And a little bit in here now. I think I actually like this. Now, in Photoshop, as I said, it looks a little bit weird. You're just going to have to trust me that I will make it look good, that it looks good in Minecraft itself. That one. Nope. Oh, no, 90 degrees. That one goes there. And that one goes there. Move down one. Okay, anything that I miss? Yes, there's these darker ones I want here, and there. I think that's pretty good. Maybe I could get one more intermediate color between this grey and that grey. Just a slight subtle difference. Perfect, absolutely perfect. There and there. Okay, and save. Now, let's jump into Minecraft and take a look. Nervous part. This is the nervous part now. Okay, I removed the cathedral before I changed the texture pack because we changed a couple of the blocks, so I didn't want to have like a half-finished look. So I thought I'd delete it first, take the blocks away, put the texture pack on, and then we'll go through it together. So we have the big windows, the small windows, and then we go to carpet. We have it in one direction, in the other direction, and the caps. So it's 5 blocks we've used to do this cathedral, but I think it was pretty important. Now we want to have that one, that one, that one, that one, that one, and that one. I like it already. There and there. Now we need this one facing the right way. Yeah, that one and that one. That one and that one. That's pretty cool. Now I know there isn't a door on it. There's nothing I can do about that. There is something I can do about that. I could use a painting. A single painting, like this tree one, and make everything invisible, apart from a door. The only problem with that is I'd be able to see the windows still, unless I made it completely green. Or completely grey, so green. Completely grey apart from that. I don't know. I really like that. The peaks look really good. This is what I mean. It always looks better in Minecraft than it does in Photoshop. Is there anything tiny that we can use for gravestones? Maybe grass. In a weird way. Like it's in an X shape. Maybe. You guys are pretty smart when it comes to this kind of thing. Now, I could retexture the grass so it was only like 1 block high of like little gravestones, but it would be in an X shape of gravestones. It would still work. It would still work, but it would look a little bit weird. Is there anything else? I don't think that that Minecraft has anything that would work like that. You know, I'm going to give it a go. I'm going to try. I'm going to retexture this grass. I'll be back. Okay, same thing, but had a problem. Grass actually takes no texture. If you look at the grass files in Minecraft, they're actually white or like a grayscale. They have no green to them. What they do is they take their color. The game makes a color for them depending on the biome that you're in, which is why grass blocks, for example, the actual blocks look different in a desert biome. They look a little bit more brown because there's like a color swash. It's called like a gradient of bright green to like a yellowy green, and depending on the biome that you're in will depend on where the game picks that color swash from. Now I can change that color swash, but it would mess everything up in the entire world. So the way to get around it was to use a block that had the same features of the grass, which is any flower. So I chose Blue Orchid. Now I haven't seen what this looks like. I got a feeling it's not going to be great. I tell you what though, it's not half bad. So like I said, it was going to be in an X shape, but they sort of do look like little gravestones. They sort of look like deadly spikes as well. Oh, they go onto the road there. That's a good one. That's a good one. That goes onto the road, and that's a good one. You know, I'm not that upset about that head. I've got 2 heads that I could use. What head does this use anyway? Just Steve head. Skull. I could use like a wither skeleton head or a skeleton head to look like a mausoleum. That could be pretty cool. Like we could have like a mausoleum here. I know they're around the back on our actual one, but like I could put 2 in like that and make those into mausoleums. Certainly, that looks. I think I'm happy with that. We'll have a car park like we have out the front here. We have a little bit of a path there, so I can't do that one. Does this one? Oops. Yeah, that can go there as well. And then I don't have a little path block. Maybe I should make a path block that has like grass on either side for like a straight shot into there. That could be good as well. But that's all I've got time for this episode. I'm actually really chuffed on how that looks. If you guys enjoyed it, hit that like button. If you haven't already, then feel free to subscribe. And we shall see you in the next episode.